I have been following the WalkAway movement, and I couldn't stay silent. I have to add my voice. I've been so frightened to speak out over the last year, and this movement has made me realize how important it is to make sure that my voice is heard and that my voice is added to the what is it now, 1 million people that are talking about this. So very quickly, like many people in this movement, I was a Bernie supporter. I voted for him in the primaries. I ended up choosing to vote for Clinton in the actual election per an email I received from the Bernie campaign maybe a week or two before the actual election. He asked all of his followers to vote for her. I ignored the fact that I didn't trust her and took his direction. I wish that I hadn't. In hindsight, I don't know if I'd vote for Bernie today, but I should have stuck to my principles and written him in. I regret that I didn't do that. But once Trump won, like many people, I was afflicted with Trump derangement syndrome, as it's being referred to. I think I even outright said on Facebook that if you're my friend and you voted for Trump, you should unfriend me. I feel horrible that I acted that way towards some people that had been friends of mine for a long time. And if you're watching this and you want to continue that conversation, my ears are open now. And a big part of that initial opening, that blindfold coming down, was actually seeing the response to Milo Yiannopoulos' appearance at Berkeley in February of 2017. I'm sure you guys remember the footage. You remember people going absolutely insane, breaking windows, throwing, I think one guy was throwing a podium or something. I don't know, people were going crazy. And I thought, oh my God, this guy must be the Nazi that everyone says he is for them to act this way. And I actually made the mistake of looking into what he was actually saying. Of course, I don't agree with everything he says. I don't think any of us agree with everything that Milo says, but I'd be totally remiss if I didn't thank him for that initial eye-opening, that initial blindfold slippage. Seeing how some of my left friends were reacting to a young man showing up at a college wanting to speak. It went against every ideal I held as an American, as a staunch defender of the Constitution. Freedom of speech is incredibly important to me. I'm an actor, I'm an artist, I am a writer. If I didn't have my First Amendment right, I wouldn't have any of the things that bring me joy in life. To see people that I thought were reasonable actually advocating that other people should have their freedom of speech limited because we don't agree with them, that is the most insane, scary concept. I can't even fathom that there are people I call friends that believe that. And it was those same friends that then sort of contributed to further pushing me away. Starting to try to talk about this, starting to try to talk about the things I was seeing, to express concern about people that were advocating for the limiting of our rights, for the limiting of our constitutional rights. It blows my mind to think about it. And to have friends call you a racist, call you sexist, call you an anti-feminist because you believe that everyone should be treated equally, all it does is just further alienate me and alienate the rest of us and push us towards one another and inspire this movement that we need to talk about. The worst of it for me was a couple weeks ago when I started talking about border control and immigration. I don't see how wanting a strong working immigration policy is wrong. I don't see how that makes me a bigot. But I was talking to my mother about it the other week, and she turned and looked at me and made a derogatory comment about my whiteness. She is Hispanic. I am mixed. I've been made fun of my whole life for being mixed, for never fitting in with the white people, never fitting in with the brown people, being told by one half that I'm too dark, being told by the other half I'm too light. I've never really felt a part of any kind of racial identity. Maybe that's why I really identify as being an American. Being an American is something that surpasses color. It surpasses creed. It even surpasses country of origin. This is an amazing country, and I love being an American. And I love anyone who holds American ideals up so highly that they would be willing to leave their home country to come here. I'm so for that. I'm so all about that. And to have my own mother turn and look at me and use my race as an insult, I don't think any mother should do that. I don't think anyone who really loves you and cares about you should do that. And that was why I decided to add my voice to this movement, because I am very scared to speak up and talk about how I feel. And I'm not even conservative. I'm not in any way close to being a Republican. I'm pro-choice. I'm pro-welfare. I'm pro-legal immigration. I just also happen to be pro-First Amendment, and I am a believer in the Second Amendment. I think everyone should have the right to defend themselves, protect themselves, especially as a woman. I have a right to walk down the street and even the playing field by arming myself. Apparently, those kind of ideas nowadays will get you labeled a racist, they'll get you labeled a Nazi, they'll get you labeled a bigot, when really the war, because we're so worked up and tuned up right now, but the real battle, I think, should be against the bigotry of low expectations that is permeating every culture in this country. You know, the real issue is that we have a news media that answers to corporate sponsors, not to actually conveying real news. And sadly, the majority of Americans are getting their news from those sources. Somehow, in the last year, advocating for freedom of thought has become a radical notion. And I am sorry to anyone who I tuned out in the past. I am sorry to everyone like me who's getting shunned, who's getting insulted by friends, by family, just because you want to be able to think for yourself and you want to be able to advocate that everyone should be thinking for themselves. What's going on is a real shame.